So the Brooklyn Nets are currently up 2-1 on the Milwaukee Bucks. In the second round of the 2021 NBA playoffs. I felt the Brooklyn Nets were going to win this series in 6 games. I could see it being, done in 5 games. Brooklyn definitely looks like the better team. But what you have to know about Brooklyn right now is this. James Harden is currently injured for the Brooklyn Nets. He got injured in game number 1 versus the Milwaukee Bucks. He injured his hamstring, and that's a hamstring that he also injured during the regular season where he missed a significant amount of time. And currently James Harden is day-to-day. My guess is if the Brooklyn Nets make the NBA Finals, and I believe they will, he will be available to play during the NBA Finals. And look, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, you obviously want James Harden available to play. James Harden is an amazing player. And he's super talented, And Brooklyn is not in this position if they don't trade for James Harden because Kyrie Irving missed games this year, Kevin Durant missed games this year due to injury, and James Harden played at an MVP level and carried the load while those guys were hurt. And I've said consistently, James Harden's a top 5 player in this league. He's an excellent scorer. He's an excellent passer. This year, he's proven to be a very unselfish player. And now he's playing good defense, actually, And he makes life easier for Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, obviously. However, I believe the Brooklyn Nets can win the NBA championship without James Harden. I believe they can this year, and maybe if James Harden gets hurt next year, they'll still be amongst the championship favorites, okay? And by the way, before the Brooklyn Nets even traded for James Harden, I said they could win a championship if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are on their A game, if the role players step up. I said that in the past. Even before James Harden got traded, I came out and said the Brooklyn Nets are going to win a championship during the Kevin Durant era, okay? I think James Harden just really put the icing on the cake, Now, here's the thing. If Kevin Durant gets hurt for this team, they're not going to win the championship. I'm not going to say they have no shot, but Kyrie Irving and James Harden as a duo is not Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving as a duo, or Kevin Durant and James Harden if Kyrie Irving got hurt, Look, here's the thing. Because Kevin Durant is so great, that's why I have confidence the Brooklyn Nets can win a championship even without James Harden, an MVP level player, because Kevin Durant to me right now is the best player in the world. He's a near perfect basketball player. He's 7 feet tall with a 7'6" wingspan. He has handles like a guard. He's an excellent mid-range shooter. He can hit shots from 30 feet out. He's a great three-point shooter. He also shown the ability to facilitate an offense. He's super efficient. Kevin Durant's the real deal. He's a walking bucket. And teams are just going to have to deal with the fact that even on Kevin Durant's worst nights, he's probably going to score 30 points, just like he did in game number 3 versus Milwaukee. Didn't shoot very well from the field, still dropped 30 points, still was excellent in the clutch. And Brooklyn also has some really good players outside of Kevin Durant. Like I mentioned, Kyrie Irving's excellent. This year, Kyrie Irving shot 50% from the field, 40% from three-point range, and 90% from the three-point line, from the free throw line, pardon me. If Kyrie Irving is your second option, you can win a championship. We saw that with LeBron James several years ago. When the Golden State Warriors won 73 games and Kyrie Irving and LeBron James went absolutely berserk in the NBA Finals down the stretch, they won that series. You still got a guy like Joe Harris, who's one of the best three-point shooters in all of basketball. Blake Griffin is an excellent role player. Bruce Brown is a good role player. Nicholas Claxton's a good big down low, Mike James, Jeff Green. The Brooklyn Nets right now are arguably the most talented team in all basketball. At least they're the most talented team in the Eastern Conference, And I think they can still win the championship even without James Harden. Obviously, if James Harden is there, it's pretty much unfair for teams because, well, if you have James Harden along with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, I don't think anyone else has the firepower to match that. Maybe you can beat them in a game or two, but you can't beat that team 4 times. And if James Harden is out, obviously it makes things a little bit easier for you, but Kevin Durant's a bad boy. And as long as Kevin Durant's the best player in the world, as long as he has Kyrie Irving or a superstar level player by his side, along with solid role players, there's no way to me any other team is beating this Brooklyn Nets squad. And Steve Nash is a pretty underrated head coach, even though he does have some flaws. So I believe the Brooklyn Nets can win the championship without James Harden for all the reasons that I mentioned.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.